Our countdown to first serve continues, and today's stop is Russellville, and we get to visit with Kera Dukic, who is the head volleyball coach at Arkansas Tech in your fourth season there. And let's just go ahead and give this preliminary disclaimer. If a dog comes in, if a cat comes in to either one of these windows midway through, we're just going to say, hey, we expected it, and it's just no problem.
We're just rolling with it.
We're just going to roll with it. We've had some animal entrances already getting ready for this. Kera, I know that I know the season is just right there. It is right there. And I'm sure you're excited about it as well as your girls. Playing a shortened season last year, was it a plus or a minus? Was there a positive too? That I'm sure it was a great thing to at least get some competition in, and you all want a postseason match as well.
Yeah, you know, I think obviously it's really easy for us to look at the negatives of it just because it wasn't what we were expecting at all. And it was hard for the three seniors that did have to move on with their schooling and with just, you know, educational reasons. But I think on the positive side, it's kind of reignited that passion, that fire, both for the players and on the coaching side as well. Like, we're just ready to go. We've got the two returning seniors, Haley Palladini and Emily Ragsdale, who are back in action with us for another fall. And we're just excited and ready to go. I mean, I think I'm thankful they decided to come back, and I hate that the shortened season had to happen, but we're ready to go. So fingers crossed we get a regular season.
Well, take us through that offense. And I know, you know, there are a couple of things that stand out to me about Arkansas Tech volleyball. You know, you're always going to have some kind of powerful offense there, you know, strong outsides. And the other side, you know, is going to come from your setters as well. It's just historically, those are two things that are strengths for Arkansas Tech. So take us through then the offense.
Yeah. So this year we've got a large roster. I mean, it's no secret. We have 21 players on the roster, which is huge for me, both as a coach and as it would have been as a player too. I think it's the largest I've ever encountered on both sides of that. And so it is a dogfight, and I'm excited because it's not like we have 21 and there's a huge difference about halfway through. We've got 21 and it's deep. I mean, the talent runs deep with us. At the setting position, we've got Gracie Palmer and Brianna Merkel. Brianna obviously has a lot of experience. I gave her a lot of responsibility when she first came in. And I even said last year that I think I forgot often that she was just a sophomore, you know, and now she's a junior. And so I do think she has grown a little bit more into like the experience of the college game and the IQ. But I mean, Gracie is again, she didn't really have a freshman year because it was a shortened year, but her IQ is outstanding. Her knowledge of the game and just that setter skill, that setter creativeness is just something that she has and has had for a long time. I saw it a very long time ago. I think that's something that you can't really teach all the time. I think that's something you just have to have, and then you can build on it after time. So physically, Brianna obviously fits the build because she's taller. I mean, she can put up a block, but also Gracie has got the mind for it. So I'm excited about both of them. I'm not sure if we're going to look for a 5-1 or a 6-2. And the great thing about the two of them is they have a great relationship, right? So I think we've finally, with us, you know, Coach Nook and I, we've created this culture of like, it's okay to have a fluid lineup, and our girls don't get so offended by that. It's all right for someone to have a hot night one night and then someone else to have a hot night the next. And they don't get their feelings hurt about it. They love each other. They're passionate about the game. And we've really we're trying very hard this year to really push the idea of, okay, do you value the win or do you value playtime? Because if you value playtime more than you value the win, then you're going to really struggle this year. And so that's kind of where we're at. And then on the attacking side, obviously with Emily Ragsdale and Haley Palladini, it's great to have them both back. They're physical at the net. They bring a lot of leadership on the court. I'm so excited to have them back with us. Outside position, we're going to be missing Riley Vogt and her passion and just fire on the court. But we've got some fighters out there. I mean, Timber Riley came back after the summer looking fantastic. I mean, she's jumping well, she's swinging well. I think it's kind of hitting her that sports are potentially maybe wrapping up for her, and her passion and level of competition is out of this world right now. And I love to see it. I love to see it. Obviously, Addison Masters, this is her senior year as well, and she had a great preseason too. And then we've got, I mean, the lineup there is deep. We got a lot of them. So I'm excited. I think as long as we can keep our heads on straight and understand that winning is what matters, and loving each other, then I think we'll be all right.
We're speaking now with Kera Dukic, who is in her 4th season with Arkansas Tech, and the Arkansas Tech volleyball team picked 3rd according to the GAC preseason coaches poll. And Coach, let me ask you something. With that many players, by the way, and I don't know, I'm not asking you to give away state secrets here, but you have to wonder, 21. I mean, you're looking at 3.5 rotations there in all of that. Now, the positive here is that your scrimmages and inter-squad scrimmages should be just pretty tough. I mean, you're gonna be able to face off against things in-house that should prepare you for league play as well. How do you go about something like that? Do you have 1s versus 2? Do you sprinkle in, different mixtures there? Or are you looking for some kind of chemistry and all of that? How does a scrimmage in a Tech practice work like that?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. At first I was like, all right, because I don't like off time. Like, I don't like people to be, that's very foreign to me. I like people to be involved all the time. But what I loved right away was, okay, we're going to have, obviously my setters never get an off time. They're on the time. They're all the time on, unless I sub in, which should not ever happen. So that should never ever happen. So my outsides really are the ones that, and middles too, but outsides mostly are the ones that have to kind of take a time off. So they, one will rest, one will play 6 rotations, and then one will play 3 and have a DS go in for them back row. And that's kind of the rotation we did during preseason. And honestly, looking back, knock on wood, we didn't have any injuries, no overusage, shoulder injuries, jumping knee injuries. And I do kind of think that it had to do with the amount of players we had, and that we were able to give that off time. And I never really had to get on to the off players about, hey, you need to stay locked in. Hey, I need you to still be like giving feedback to those people in your position. And I love that about this team. I love that they're locked in no matter what. They know that, okay, I might be off right now, but when it's go time, it's go time. And it really has brought the level of competition up, I think, because they're not tired. They're not going halfway. When they're in, they know they got to go. And we also kind of implemented this, you make an unforced error and you're out. So we have a really a good conversation every year, maybe a couple times a year, that we're all, essentially replaceable. And that's a difficult conversation to have, but that's, a life lesson, right? So in the nicest way possible, when they make an unforced error, it's like, okay, you're out. I'm not mad at you. You're not, nothing, you're not going to run. You're just out. And then next time you're in, when someone makes a mistake, then go get after it. So I think it's been good so far, but I'm still trying to figure it out. So,
well, I'm sure that's a good problem to have though, too. So, and that should help you as well. We said before the broadcast too, that, or you said that you were a retired athlete.
Yeah, retired.
So that's that having that many players should limit that time. I don't know.
Alleviates me from having to go in.
All right, Coach, it gets underway. The schedule gets underway. Oh my goodness, days away now, which is really cool. That's great. Praise God for that. Dallas, you're heading to Dallas. You're heading to Wichita Falls. You're heading to Jackson, Tennessee. And then, of course, the GAC schedule gets underway, which just gets more challenging, I think, each and every year.
Most definitely.
Take us through that schedule.
Yeah, preseason tournaments, gosh, I think we could all as head coaches sit back and try to plan this perfect preseason of like, okay, I want it to be challenging this year. I want wins this year. I have always just kind of been like, listen, this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. I'm looking definitely to come out with some wins in preseason. I really believe that this team has a lot of great things ahead. I think that they believe in one another. I think the time they spent here, summer 2, and the time they spent getting after in the weight room is going to pay off in the long run. I think having our 2 girls back, you know, Emily Ragsdale and Haley Palladini, have really, you know, sparked a fire with these girls that, hey, they're back for a reason. Like, let's do this. Let's get after it on the court. Let's push each other in the weight room. Let's push each other in the classroom. And the new ones that have come in have really jumped on board quickly. And maybe maybe it's a mix of like just the culture has finally started to really click with what we've wanted to do, and also a mix of the leadership of the upperclassmen of like, this is what we do here and this is what we stand for. And so you're either going to get in or you're just not going to really fit in. And they've jumped in. We had a great preseason. And I think once we start playing, you know, I always think teams have an issue once you start playing is when you start to see true, maybe not true character, but that true competitiveness that people start to come out. It all is happy until lineups start showing up. And then that's when you have to have the real conversation of, okay, remember, you know, is it play time that you value or is it the wins? Because what we're trying to do is win. And then that's our goal. We're trying to win, and we're trying to, that's it at the end of the day. And so we'll probably have to go back to that and talk about it. But I think at the core, we've got, it's a fabulous group of young women who care about each other, who love this program, who they're great students, great people, and great athletes. And I couldn't be happier.
Well, it looks like a solid group, as you mentioned there, and a strong season ahead, and it gets underway very quickly. September is almost here. Coach Kera, Dukic, your team, again, according to the preseason poll, picked 3rd in the GAC. Success to you all and to the Golden Suns this year, and thank you again for taking time with us as we count down to first serve.
Thank you so much.